The license plates on the cars that crowd this parking lot are all from Texas. But we're not in Texas. We're in Shreveport, Louisiana.
3.5 hours.
That's how long Latresa drove from Houston to bring her niece to Hope Medical Group for an abortion. Long wait times and transportation issues provided roadblocks that almost prevented her niece from getting care.
This was like her last result, her last appointment to get it done. So she tried everywhere else. It doesn't make sense at all why we have to leave home to get care that we have the right to get.
But in her home state, those rights just aren't the same anymore. A 2021 law effectively bans abortion in Texas after about 6 weeks. And if the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion becomes the final opinion, access will become even more limited for women across the country.
Hope Medical Group, this is Stephanie. May I help you?
Before the Texas law, 18% of the patients here were from Texas.
By the end of September, we were running 37% Texas. By the end of October, we were at 57% Texas, and it kept going up. At one point, we were like at 73%.
Clinic Director Kathaleen Pittman says the spillover from Texas, in conjunction with already restrictive abortion laws in Louisiana, has created an incredible backup in her clinic. Previously, most abortions were done between 6 and 10 weeks by a 2-dose pill to end pregnancy. But because of the long wait list to get an appointment, most will need a surgical procedure.
The majority of them are 10 through 13, and we've doubled the number of second trimester cases. On any given day, we have anywhere from 120 to 150 people on our waiting list just for us to call them and make that initial appointment.
It'll be about 2 weeks before we can call you to schedule.
She's sending women to New Mexico for the abortion medication, but is worried about the women who are timing out for care. The clinic only performs abortion through 16 and a half weeks. They must also have 2 appointments mandated by law, one for consultation, a 24-hour waiting period, and one for the actual procedure.
A lot of women do not understand, why should I have to come twice? This is all I've thought about since I had a positive test. And, you know, as with most women, so for legislators to think that women haven't given it enough thought it's more than laughable. It's actually just wrong.
Latresa and her niece had to get a hotel room, a setback that cost time and money for both. But she recognizes if this situation happened in another few weeks, her niece would have no easy option. Pittman is trying not to worry yet, but this clinic would be shut down if the leaked opinion stands.
Take a deep breath, reassure the staff, reassure the patients. You're here now. We'll take care of you now. I just don't know if we can in the future.
Louisiana is one of more than a dozen states with a trigger law, meaning if Roe is overturned, abortion becomes illegal in those states overnight. Women in Louisiana would be forced to drive on average the furthest in the nation for care. A total ban would force the driving time from 37 miles to a clinic to a whopping 666 miles for care. That's a 1,720% increase in mileage.
Nobody cares about the women. You know, certainly not the politicians.
40 years ago, there were 18 operational abortion care facilities in the state of Louisiana. 10 years later, that number stayed pretty stagnant at 17. But by 2014, decades of anti-abortion legislation in the state forced nearly all of the facilities to close. And now I'm standing outside of one of just 4 operational facilities in the state.
2 beds on this side, 2 beds on this side.
Jody Burns is doing a different kind of planning.
We're set up for a post-Roe, society. I believe that we are going to need to increase, continue to expand our services.
She's the executive director at Heart of Hope, just about 20 minutes from the clinic. The massive property houses, educates, and takes care of young girls as they navigate their pregnancy and early motherhood. The community-funded program is expanding now in preparation for the Supreme Court decision, adding care over the phone and more apartments on their property.
I think that the pro-life has really turned a corner.
While Burns says abortion is free to exist in other states if the Supreme Court sides in her favor, she doesn't want to see the option in hers. She believes education and available resources will change the minds of women needing care.
I have never met a woman that regretted giving life, but I have met many women, and I'm one of them, that regretted not giving life.
But Latresa, who once pushed through crowds of protesters to have her own abortion, is at peace with her decision.
There was no way I could have done that. I have 5 children now, so I made the right decision.
Women who live exactly where she does, who are in a similar place in life, may not have the chance to dictate their future. And if they do, it will likely be expensive or unsafe.